Orgasm.
Hello, my fellow advocates, and welcome back to the Fan Advocacy Network. Star Wars Celebration has given us our first Star Wars Episode 9 trailer, with a title reveal called The Rise of Skywalker. Now, I'm going to go through this trailer, I'm going to give my commentary and my analysis, and I'm going to let you guys know what I think about it. So the first thing here is you see the Lucasfilm logo, and you probably quickly search your other tabs to see if you maybe have a porn video playing in the background, because Rey here definitely sounds like she's learning something other than the ways of the Force. You have this scene where it pans to Rey, who's breathing heavily for some reason. We don't know why. She's in the middle of a desert. We don't know why she's back there. And then you have a scene where she's standing defiant, pulls out her lightsaber, and is about to confront this enemy that takes an excruciatingly long amount of time to get to her, only to reveal that it's a TIE fighter. But before that, she turns around, turns her back to her enemy, which, by the way, let me just mention that a Fan Advocacy Network PSA is don't turn your back on your enemy. That is just rude and it's strategically not advised. So then she turns back around, confused that now there's an enemy coming towards her, and then she starts to run. So she thinks she's going to be able to outrun this vehicle. Now, I don't know why they couldn't commit to either her running from the First Order or her fighting the First Order, but they decided to do both and then do them very, very badly. So after that scene, we get a title card saying every generation has a legend. And based on the millennial generation, their legend is probably going to be one of the worst and most forgettable, as we see from any Disney store that you go to when you ask if they have sequel merch, and they'll just laugh you right out of the store. So then we pan to a Game of Thrones scene where it looks like the White Walkers are finally about to overtake us. And then we get to a scene that actually has some value. Billy D. Williams as Lando in the Millennium Falcon. This was the first time in the trailer that I actually felt like I was watching a Star Wars trailer. It was fantastic. I love this moment. It's great. It's very quick. You know, it's very done. They're like, oh, look, old Star Wars. Yeah. Oh, back to the garbage. And then we have a scene with Rey hugging Leia, which is fine. If you want to have Leia in the movie, you know, fine. I think it's kind of a desecration. You know, once you die, you should be free from having to dance for other people's amusement. But I guess completing this arc is important. And so yeah, I'm being very tolerant of this. So then you have a lot more nothing. And then you have one of the best scenes in the trailer. The thing that excited me about this entire movie. And that is Palpatine's laugh. You don't even have to show him. Simply his cackle is enough to get me to want to see this movie. And so I was sold from Palpatine's laugh, because now that they confirm Palpatine, the possibility exists that he could suck out her soul and just reclaim her body and turn her into an old man and resume what he was doing. And we would all be okay with that, I think. I think we would all be okay with that, because looking at the way things turned out, you know, maybe the Empire should have won. Maybe Rey would have been put to death by the Emperor if things had turned out differently. And I'm looking at that and going, maybe the bad guys deserve to win. Maybe Luke really should have joined the Empire after all. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this trailer it's about 70-30. I think it's 70% garbage, 70% nonsense, and 30% Star Wars. And I think one of the major problems with this new trilogy is that they focus too much on Rey, and nobody likes Rey. Nobody likes Finn, nobody likes Poe. These characters are basically just caricatures. They have no substance, they have no soul, they have no motivation, they have no reason for doing what they're doing. There's nothing in this trailer that explains any of their actions. And even more than that, it's all confusing. Why would you show Rey standing off against somebody, turning her back, looking back, and then running away? What is the symbology here? That you can't make up your mind? Well, then I take it back. That is a perfect metaphor for the new Star Wars movies. They can't seem to decide what they want to do. Does Rey want to run? Does she want to fight? Does she want to make a fool out of herself? Does she want to flip in the air? Nobody knows. Nobody cares. This looks like it's going to be the last sad final chapter to a series that should have ended in 1984. You know, the movies should have been done with the original trilogy, but for me it's sad because Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and Han Solo could have been on screen at the same time while they were all alive. that opportunity will never present itself again because of Kathleen Kennedy's incompetence and her arrogance and her ego and her need for identity politics and feminism. So I have nothing but contempt for Kathleen Kennedy and her band of miserable idiots, people like Chuck Wendig, people like Pablo Hidalgo, people who buy into this, the garbage tier shill Star Wars media. All of these people are painfully pathetic. They are weak. They're absolute imbeciles, and their jealousy towards George Lucas is absolutely stunning. Kathleen Kennedy could not, on her best day, compete with an idea from George Lucas on his worst. And maybe that sits wrong with her. Maybe that's why when she was sitting there lying to his face that they were going to preserve all these characters and they were going to make this something that people wanted to see, maybe that was really what was eating at her, that she knew she was standing in the presence of somebody who she would always be worse than, not because of her gender, but simply because she could not compete intellectually, creatively, and so she bitterly tried to destroy these characters, and she did a pretty outstanding job running them into the ground. Unfortunately for her, the only characters that people don't care about are her characters. People still like Luke Skywalker, people still like Han Solo, people still like Boba Fett and the old characters, so in that way, she failed utterly, and Kathleen Kennedy, what Bob Iger needs to do is he needs to pick you up and throw you down a shaft. Metaphorically, he needs to fire you. He needs to get you away so your essence can dissipate into the ethos and you can never be heard from again, and Star Wars can begin to mend itself from the damage that you've done with your feminist ideology and your jealousy over a man who is better than you in every way. Say what you want about the prequels. They were a cohesive story. They were a complete 3-part act. I could watch episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3. I know what's going on. There's no middle movie to feel like it's its own movie to separate everything out. No, it's one complete piece and experience. It may not be the best thing in the world, but compared to this, it's a Citizen Kane remastery. So ladies and gentlemen, that is my opinion on this trailer. I think it is piss poor with some gold sprinkled in, but can some gold sprinkled in save something like this? I don't think so. I'm not optimistic for what this new movie has to offer. I will, of course, see it for this channel. I will see it for all of you. That is what I am here to do. And I just want to leave you with this one thing, and I mentioned this in my community tab. Ladies and gentlemen, the money that I generate from this channel, whether it's from ad revenue, whether it's from Subscribestar, whether it's from t-shirt purchases, whatever it happens to be, that money goes into this channel so that I can pay for tickets to movies, maybe some popcorn, so that I can buy games to do reviews. And by the way, I just want to mention that with every piece of entertainment, I am not an insider. I don't have insider access. I'm not somebody who gets a review copy. I'm not somebody who gets a premium viewing of a movie so that they can do a review first. Just as the embargo lifts, I'm a person who buys the game when you buy the game. I go see the movie when you go see the movie. I get the insider access when you get the insider access. And I think that creates a more impartial review and analysis, because the reason why you can trust my review is because I'm not being bought and paid for. I'm not being wined and dined. I'm giving you my genuine opinion. Whether you agree or disagree is up to you. But this channel exists because of you, with you watching the videos, sharing the videos. Whether you're willing to make the financial commitment and pay me on Subscribestar, all of that helps the channel grow, and it allows me to do what I do, and it's all because of you guys. You guys are the reason that I'm able to do this and why I'm able to put money towards the next movie. You may not know this, but Hellboy got absolutely savaged in the reviews. I had no intention of going to see Hellboy, but because the reviews were so bad, I asked you guys, do you want me to see Hellboy? You overwhelmingly said yes, and because you guys support this channel, I'm going to see Hellboy. That is an expense that I did not foresee, that I can happily justify because of your support. So I just want to let that be clear. Not an insider, not somebody who gets free movies and free games. I know some people get that, and that's great, but that's not what I have access to. I get the games, I get the content when you do. So my opinion is the same as you going to your store and picking it up yourself, or you going to the theater and sitting down and watching the movie yourself. That's my analysis, and that's what I provide. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you genuinely. I want to thank you for supporting my channel. You guys have been tremendous, and I will see you next time.